Hello, today I will be talking about movie review number 850. This is Freelance. Freelance is a 2023 film that is directed by Pierre Morel, which is spelled Pierremorel, who I believe also directed the Liam Neeson movie Taken. So, Freelance has Relativity Media, AGC Studios, and Endurance Media in it, and this was a movie that I saw on November 3rd, 2023 at Regal Cinemas 16 in Deerfield Towne Center in Mason, Ohio. So, this stars John Cena as Mason Pettis. Stuck in a dead-end desk job, former Special Forces operative Mason Pettis, who was originally on the Special Forces but decided to retire after something happened that changes his life forever, and so he's stuck in a dead end desk job being a warrior, and his life doesn't seem very pleasing to him. Well, he reluctantly takes on a freelance gig to provide private security for a washed up journalist named Claire Wellington, played by Alison Brie in the film, and Claire is going to interview a ruthless dictator named Ron Fenderglass, who is played by John Pablo Rapa in the film. But when a military coup breaks out just as she's about to get the scoop of a lifetime, the unlikely trio must figure out how to survive the jungle and one another to make it out alive. Oh, this was pretty good. So I've seen a few John Cena movies in the past, and I definitely thought this was pretty good. Um, Even though the reviews weren't exactly positive, I thought it was a pretty good film. So Mason Pettis is a warrior who used to be on the Special Forces, and he kind of feels out of place being a warrior. Like he loved being on the Special Forces. He thought that's where he belongs, but then something happens to his team that causes him to go out of the Special Forces. But then an old colleague of his visits him one day and tells him that he can take a freelance gig to provide private security for Claire Wellington, who is going to interview a ruthless dictator that has never happened before. I believe she's the only person to interview John Fenderglass in the film, and so she and Mason get to see this ruthless dictator, and things go well at first, but then something happens that causes them to make a detour into the jungle. So they have to survive the jungle and themselves in order to make it out alive. But also they have to figure out who's trying to who's trying to kill them. And yeah, I thought this was pretty good. So at first at first Mason doesn't really have any interest in Fendergrass, just because of something that happened. But he decides to provide private security for Claire Wellington to do this interview, reluctantly of course, but they go to Fendergrass country, and so they the interview cuts short when a military coup breaks out, and this causes some enemies of Fendergrass to try to kill them. Well, thanks to Mason's special forces skills, they are able to make it out alive, but they have to go into the jungle and try to protect themselves from those enemies, but also try to not get themselves killed from the enemies or from each other. Because there are parts in the movie that they have that there are parts in the movie where they don't necessarily see eye to eye, and this causes some arguments, some interesting dialogue that makes that kind of turns the tables on each other. And like I said, there's a reason why Mason isn't really is like not really fond of vinegars just because of what happened. I won't say what, but let's just say that it had to do with Mason's last time as being a special forces operative. But I thought it was a pretty good movie. And throughout the movie, let's just say that the trio does seem eye to eye more, and they decide to help each other get out of the jungle alive and try to figure out who's trying to kill them. And Claire hopes that she can finally interview Finnegas and becoming the first person to do so. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. So that's my movie review of Freelance. Please stay tuned for my next movie review. Alright, goodbye.